got you feeling this heat rise. Have you ever stayed up to the sunshine? Came through fourth quarter in the crunch time. Need to go flee on the run like just one time. Have a fun time. Monsters, tell me, do you believe in those monsters? I'm talking dreams so big that they'll haunt you, or they'll calm you. That's how you know if you gotta go and get it, get to win and not conquer. I had to go out and get it without a sponsor. Kept it real, never crooked, yeah, that's honor. Now I can go out and get it how I want to. Hashtag bless, I choose.
Good afternoon, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter. Welcome back to the Ryan Matta Show. Thank you guys for joining us. Today is Wednesday, May 29th. We're going to get into all things sports betting with a legendary guest that has been on the show before. His name is Joey Tunes, and he is bringing some friends with him. He's got his buddy Matt and Blake. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. Good.
Joey, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys have going on, and we'll get into it. Why don't you introduce yourself first, and we'll kind of go around the table and talk shop.
Yeah, so I brought on two of my guys tonight. I'm Joey Tunes, 2 on Twitter, regular in person, no 2 attached. Yeah, I wanted to come in and talk about a little bit of what we do. Last time I was on, we were going down the KDA path that I think we both agree the people that run that are kind of terrible.
Horrible.
So that never really panned out as I would have liked. But yeah, so we run a betting office that trades and originates sports that we could get into. But yeah, I brought on BD. He's one of my head traders, or Blake, and Matt is part of the office, but not in the office, satellite. So, and both these guys been on Visin and a couple other shows with me. So I could pass the mic to them for a second. They could introduce themselves.
Hey, Matt, go ahead. We'll start with you.
Yeah, Matt, like Toon said, been around the guys a bunch. I'm not in the office, but just one of the guys, I guess. Been betting for a while now, full time for about 3 years. So
Full time for 3 years. So this is all you guys do. Everyone in this round table, this is what you guys do for a living, is just bet on sports.
Yep.
And what's your for sports? What's your expertise? Are you football, baseball, or kind of all over?
I'll of course bet everything, but football is what I know best. So,
what about you, Blake?
I'm Blake. I trade for Mr. Joey Tunes. So I'm sitting here at the screen all day. We're making bets, moving positions, watching the markets, and also interested in the regular stock market and crypto as well. So been doing that for about 3 years or so with Joey, a little bit more before that. And yeah, thank you for having me on.
Hey man, it's an honor to have you guys. This is really cool. It's so interesting to see how this thing kind of works behind the scenes. So tell us a little bit about how do you guys go about placing these bets? Like what's the big games? You guys betting on things right now, or is it the off season?
Right now it's a little slow because the NBA is winding down. There's only 2 more series left. We like having full boards of positions because more opportunity to catch off numbers and really like find value in a lot of these games. When it's tightened up and these games keep playing every night, it's the same team, just different arena. It's kind of hard to really find value, which is like well known in the sports field. You're not supposed to really find value in the playoffs or later on in the year type thing. But yeah, so right now it's more of a downtime. Me and Matt, or Gringo, I call him. We do a lot of the college football together with one of our other guys that couldn't make it, this kid Dirk. And so we're doing our numbers for that. We're getting our data ready. We purchase data. We talk about it every day. The portal is such a big thing now. So we have that little side chat on the side. We've been doing that for a long time. Me and Gringo, even before we hired Dirk. BD usually specializes NBA. He'll do mostly the baseball right now. I'd say that's your two go-tos, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can call it that.
I hate baseball. I like it, but I don't know. It's a tough sport to beat. We don't originate it. It's one of the few sports we don't originate. Origination is like, we come up with our own numbers versus the market, and we bet our own games, which is rare nowadays. Honestly, a lot of people that entered the space are kind of like copycat type things, So, but yeah. Back to the question. Yeah, it's fairly slow right now, but we could use the break going into, football and preseason. NFL is like 88 days away or something. I tweeted now. College football is 88 days away. NFL's 99 now. But who's counting?
So walk me. When you guys say you make your own line, that means you guys are bringing the numbers. You guys are taking any bets that anybody throws at you, but you're telling them what the spread is, correct?
It's more so out of the office and the whole feed me thing really came about because I wanted to kind of get away from touting. Touting is like people that sell their picks that are nothing but, 90% are snake oil salesmen, just trying to sell product. We kind of went the other route where we, instead of me gaining $25 off you to give you a winning play like a whore, I'd rather just, I'd rather you try and find accounts for me. You go out and we partner on these accounts. So it'll be up to you to find your sales. And then, you go out and you're the face of what you can bring in and you bring these accounts to us and we totally play them for you. We do all the work. You just have to be the face of it. You just have to stay good for the bookie and make sure they're paying and we're going to do our job. We're going to win. So we kind of played that route and then it kind of just exponentially grew. And now it's just, a major thing where we're bringing in a lot of accounts and people are happy. And, and in my mind, instead of grabbing that $25 right off the bat, I build relationships. I also get 50%, which we usually charge of the account, win or lose. So, I mean, we're at risk too, so we want to win. We have a lot of positions and we kind of build it off that more so.
So people that are watching or myself even, we can contact your team and then we go to FanDuel or wherever sites we can go to actually create an account. And then you tell us what to bet, when to bet, how much to bet, and then we split the profits. Is that how you're explaining that?
Sort of, you got most of it right. But the only thing is, well, there's two things to that. If you're talking about FanDuels and the DraftKings, we call them legal accounts. So the legal accounts are anything that you have to post up money to in state or offshore. So they're kind of like post up accounts. We want the credit accounts because we don't have to put the money up for you. See, when we have a partner, we get into this tricky situation to where I met you on mine. You're in Twitter egg, I don't know you. So I obviously can't give you, I don't know, $100,000 to go put in a FanDuel account because you'll rob me more times than not. So that's where the battle lies. We try and do it with already partners that have a proven record, or we ask the partner, what their, not what their net worth is, but can they actually put the money up for us? Because I have a name. Like I wouldn't be where we wouldn't be where we are if we were out robbing people or not paying people. It would get around very fast. And you only have one name in the sports industry. So I like to keep it, totally clean. So yeah, that's what a lot of partners ask me. That's actually a good question. So it's kind of tricky. So we kind of ask for them to, have maybe a bookie at the bar or in their college or at work or whatever that, takes bets on the side. And they'll usually run these places that you don't have to put the money up. They're called credit shops. So these credit shops are perfect because if we wouldn't get stock, we wouldn't get burned either way because there's no actually money exchanged other than weekly win or loss. So does that make sense? So that's a little bit easier for us. Also, digging deep here, but the FanDuels, we have access to a lot of them, from partners we trust or, like you. I trust Ryan Matta. If he got me a DraftKings account, that's better than just some guy, So we're going to use your DraftKings account because we have established relationship or a history together, where somebody else is, and we have access to all that. So it's very hard, like it's a trust thing, basically.
And Matt, where do you come into this? What is your daily position in this?
So right now, I'm not trading for these guys. That's what BD and some of the other guys do. I'm just really just prepping for football season, and I'm betting my own stuff on the side.
What does trading mean, by the way, for people that don't understand?
I'll let BD explain that. He's the guy. So
go ahead, BD.
I guess trading would essentially mean, whether it's our stuff that we're sending out to different partners. We have, we're kind of connected with these different partners, people who have accounts, and people who are just bettors. And say if we have a play, we're going to send it out to them. They're going to bet it in their accounts. Hopefully, well, ideally, if there are partners, they're not going to move the screen. You're not going to be able to tell what's going on if someone's betting this, which would be us. And they get down quietly for us. Some partners may get down a couple thousand, others may get down tens of thousands. And so that's kind of how we operate. And we also have people that are sending us bets where we're in that position of we have to get down, say 10,000 on this game at this price. And we do that. If we like the game as well, we may bet some for ourselves, but otherwise we just bet it for them, turn it in, and they get what they want because they get their bet without the market being alerted or the screen moving, which would basically, there's a screen. So basically, as long as the number doesn't move, no one knows that bet was made. And it could be a $100,000 bet, could be a $500 bet. But if it doesn't move, no one knows that it happened. So that's ideally what you're looking for when you're trading.
And how hard is it to get those bets down without moving those markets? Like, do you guys know the exact dollar amount, or you're like, shit, sometimes I got to throw out $5,000 and I'm not sure if it's going to move the market or not?
Well, I guess there would be like certain bookies or certain like websites where you're betting it and it's going to move compared to where it's not going to move. So there's certain even legal accounts or spots like Circa Las Vegas. That's a big indicator. So they might take 10,000 max on a game. If you hit them for 10,000 max, it's going to move, and everyone's looking at Circa on their screen. So they're going to see that. They're going to say, someone likes that side. Most likely it's going to trigger like a chain reaction across the market. So there's certain shops like that versus other ones, which are normally the credit bookies, that they're not going to move and no one's going to know.
And do you guys ever purposely put money somewhere to move a market just to fuck with your competition?
A lot, yeah. It's a big thing, yeah. So it's almost like spoofing. So I could correlate everything to almost finance or even crypto markets. Like there's certain indicators. I don't know. Crypto, like Coinbase, used to maybe be a leading indicator because they had so many customers, or Binance, where you could start seeing moves in China overnight that would correlate. So it's kind of like the same thing with sports. And what BD was saying is we want to, if people ask us to help them with games, like fill orders, like it would just be like any other brokerage, like if Warren Buffett called and he wanted to go all in on Coca-Cola or whatever, we in exchange for that info, we kind of help him get down, without rupturing this big chain reaction. Like BD said, everybody wants it quiet. No one wants to, be followed or get info for free. Now, our position is good because we get to have that info and we get to decide what we want to do with it. Do we want to bet the other side and wait for the market to move? Then we come back and hit it our way. Do we want to piggyback him because we do like the side? Do we want to do nothing? Do we want to earn? Do we just want to keep the info on hand? Like there's so many options to do. It's kind of why we always really know where the market's getting, because we're getting all the good info. The sports market is a lot different though, because it's just not liquid. I mean, like BD said again, Circa may take 10 grand, which isn't a lot. When we want to bet, or bettors want to bet, the bigger guys, they want hundreds of thousands, even millions. So if they want a game minus 122 and we go hit Circa for a measly 10,000, then that's going to set off this fire, and we're not going to be able to fill that amount, and they're going to be pissed because they want a certain amount. They may not use us or brokerage. And just like us, like, to elaborate on what BD said, is that we have partners that help us get down too. Maybe they don't have access to accounts. Maybe they have a bookie that takes call-ins. Maybe they want to book us. So we have just a chain of people that we call out. We'll say, okay, we like Oregon minus 22, and we'll just hit every partner, and they turn into us. Okay, this guy got us 5K, this guy got us 10K, this guy got us 2K. We start compiling, and that's where we're gaining our positions. And then we go out and finish off the market, or sometimes not. Maybe we get our fill. Maybe we get the whole bet just by moving these, through these partners that we kind of call them call out partners or whatever. Where we're not using the screens as much or the accounts as much. They kind of fill it for us. And then if we're not full, then we go out and attack the screen, because, we don't care. But also, one last thing with hitting the screen is you're giving your data away too. You know what I mean? So it's like, now Circa knows, okay, he hit Oregon. So they know us, they know us. So it's like, okay, so maybe we're off on Oregon. Maybe our numbers aren't right. So next week they come out and Oregon wins. Maybe it's minus 24 now, where if we didn't give them that data, it still would have been a great bet for us the following week type thing.
Yep. And so you will put money down for people just for them to give you their data, because that data is so valuable. You can make money off. You're not going to charge them a spread to put that money down. You're just happy to get the data that they're giving you. You're going to take that bet. You're going to fill it for them. Is that correct?
Yeah. Plus, there's enough earn in the market, and what BD does, I do, or Gringo does during football, is we just trade it. So we try and sell these numbers back and forth. We're going to go work our deals. If Ryan Matta wants, the Cowboys minus 6.5, we're going to go line shop. We're going to deal with the bigger groups, and we're going to ask them, hey, look, I got a guy that wants Dallas. Do you happen to like the Redskins? Maybe we can meet in the middle and we earn this little spread. When I first started doing this, I charged 2 pennies on every bet, which was like my earn, because there's risk involved with us. We stand good for the money always. So if we go out and go grab 50K on Dallas, some guy lays down on us or goes belly up, we lose 50. We may not have any position on that, and we only got paid 35. So now we lost 15K for no reason at all, basically. But, now there's more guys that are starting to do this, so the competition's ramped up a little bit. So we have to be competitive, but,
And how does Bitcoin play into this with you guys? I know last time we had talked, you said like it's, you guys are the OG gamblers. You guys like the OG Bitcoiners, because when you guys were moving money all across the world, taking these bets, like Bitcoin was the easiest way to do that. But we'd kind of talked a little bit about maybe people aren't paying you right up front. They're just placing bets for you. Does Bitcoin not kind of allow you guys to settle every bet at the end of every game, or is it easier just to kind of keep a spreadsheet?
It's easier because there's so many games, so many partners, so many things moving, that we usually try and do the settle ups every Monday, which is Monday and Tuesday are all counting days. I invited my accountant Mac on and my brother, but they're playing softball or something fucking week. But and so for new partners, it's great. I mean, it's great in all senses. I mean, this really built up the whole offshore, because everything's banned in the US. You can't put money up in certain spots. No one wants to deal with banks. No one wants to deal with these offshore because they're in a gray area. It's illegal in the US, but the US base is so strong. I mean, there's so many consumers and bettors out here with money that everybody wants the US players, but the U.S. doesn't want to be associated with any offshore. So, you know, it's banned or whatever. So crypto gets around all that. For us too, it's great. Like, I mean, when new partners, you know, it's the best way to trust somebody. Hey, look, do you deal in Bitcoin? Yeah, we do too. Okay, you're new. Let's square up at the end of this game every 2 days, maybe just at 5,000. And then you start growing with people and start, you know, you could really trust them. I mean, sports is, these guys are younger, but I remember that, I mean, we used to lug money down to Costa Rica and all these places and have people we trust, uncles, have money in, you know, like, I don't know, Vegas and Arizona, whatever, just to settle up partners. And now Bitcoin 2016, we really started using it. It really became a thing. And that's how we kind of got into it. That's how I started. I mean, they were the great years too. 16, 17 was fucking dynamic. It was just like, check your app, see how much you're up over and over again. Post a rocket meme and move on. So, but yeah, I mean, it made things so much easier. And, you know, now it's like here to stay. I mean, you know, especially in the sports world, it's not going anywhere. It's the best way to really do business now. Plus it's, you know, it's an asset, you know, I mean, probably stack it, make money on it, win at betting, win at Bitcoin, happy life.
So is there opportunities for, like, let's say I'm 19, I just started going to like Michigan State University and I'm really big into sports and I know everybody at the campus. Is there ways for like people to start their own like bookie service? Do you have people that are like running bookie, like they're, like you said, the local bookie at the bar? Like, how do you meet these new people, or how do you get somebody that's interested? Are you willing to work with people and help build them up and help them build up their own little thing locally?
Gringo, take this, because I actually met Gringo. I mean, we became like good friends now, but he was one of my biggest partners at one point. Then kind of, like you said, he saw what was going on and he was always good with football, kind of wanted to make it a full-time thing. So we kind of piggybacked our office and now kind of took those accounts for himself. But yeah, I mean, he was great for what years were you really like? I mean, he had 30, 50 accounts for us or something. So, but you went to college, so you could take that. I mean, I did too, but take the big.
Yeah. God, yeah. So I started, God, what was that? Like 2019, 2020 is when I got hooked up. 2019, I guess, when I got hooked up with Tunes and his crew for the first time. So yeah, basically as a new guy that was interested, and I was just betting. I wasn't doing any booking. Have never done any booking. Just want to clarify that. Yeah, booking's
illegal, but you know, it's so, you know, we that's why we're betting, you know, like trading betting. We want to get the bookies, you know, we hate them anyway. So
yeah. So anyway, yeah, back to go back into it. So yeah, just a young kid that was really interested in the industry, and this is what I wanted to do. And just, you know, being on gambling Twitter, you kind of sift through people and see who's real and who's not. And Tunes primarily always had a really good reputation. Always paid, always did great. So anyway, started out with like, hey, I got an account from a bookie. Do you want to play into it? And we worked out, just like you said, a 50-50 deal, and started with one, and then one went to five, and I was just, you know, hustling to find accounts back then. And it was easier back then because there was no states was legalized other than Vegas, or excuse me, Nevada. So
your local guys were easier to find.
Yeah, exactly. So one turned into 5, turned into 10, turned into 50 eventually. And so I had like a ton, and we were doing a lot of work together. And really just like anybody that's wanting to get into this industry, like that was such a good way to do it. Because when you're providing a guy like Tunes 50 accounts, like he doesn't know a new guy from a bum on the street. So you got to provide some sort of value. And that was my way to provide value. And so we just started talking, and then he realized that, you know, that I knew a thing or two about football, and that's how we started working together. But yeah, basically to circle back to what you're asking, if anybody wants to start, you got to find some way to provide value to these guys. and then go from there. And then I remember the first thing he said to me was like, because I was just a curious kid and wanted to know. He's like, make sure you always pay everybody on time, never stiff anybody. Your reputation is everything, and then just always do the right thing, and people will take care of you. So that's kind of my story, how I got into it, and how I think anybody can.
And what
Gringo played football too at Iowa State. Did you really? Did you? I'll host for a second. Did you get any accounts through like some Iowa State guys, or did I say Ohio State? Iowa State, if I did.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, it's just the same thing. It's just like a network. So you get a bunch of
yeah.
Young dudes with a bunch of testosterone. They're gambling, so you just hit those guys up, and they're like, "Yeah, I have a bookie," or "I have a bookie."
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you got 10 from just a few text messages. So
no shit. And what can you like when you land an account? What does that look like if somebody's like, okay, I just want to get my toes wet. If I can land one account and it's a decent, just your average account, I guess. What does that look like as a 50-50 split for one of these guys?
What do you mean in terms of what?
Like say I found my local bookie and I brought him to you. He had an account. Well, you said you'd found like 10 accounts. Like, what does that mean as far as like weekly, monthly type of thing
Like
for people that are
like income? You mean?
Yeah. Like how much can somebody make if you guys are running bets through somebody?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna win. So
that matters. Yeah.
At the end of the year, I can't give like a specific number, but you're gonna do all right. You're gonna be making a lot more than all your friends working a 9-to-5 job. If you
shit.
Right and aren't stupid.
Yeah, we have a couple guys that's all they do, man. That's their job, is just account hunting, and they do well with it. I mean, the weeks vary, but we're always on top. And the more accounts you get, the odds are we have more credit. We're going to be able to, place more bets and everything. So you're going to have a better chance of winning. I mean, you're going to win anyway, but it's, I'd rather have a partner with 10 accounts than one account, just because we may lose Monday, Tuesday, and we're kind of hampered there. We don't have the credit to fight back, so it's like boxing, 3 rounds. If you lose the first 2, you're kind of fucked. You know what I mean? Like, gotta go for the knockout.
It's also a really good little side hustle. Like, let's say you're an accountant or something, and you have, you just have a bunch of accounts, and you pass them off. You got a whole side hustle to go on top of your 9-to-5 job. So that's how I started it. And then build you up a little bankroll. And then if you want to do it for full time, then that's for you to decide. But it's a good little side hustle too, as long as you stay organized.
Yeah.
And what is so football is your best season. What does that look like as far as like how many hours you guys put in a day during football season? Do I even want to know?
Well, BT fell asleep on Discord one day, so that should tell you. I was like, is somebody fucking snoring? Yeah, he's like, my bad, 2 hours later. It's like Saturday night. Yeah, Saturdays are brutal, but I think everybody's working. I mean, definitely football season just magnifies like 4 times. I mean, literally it's slow right now. We usually have, I would say 4 times more calls, not more accounts, because we try and keep them active, but the accounts probably go up like 2 times or something like that. I mean, we usually double around that time because everybody bets football. We get hired to work a little bit more. When you crush somebody in like kind of off seasons, it sticks out a little bit, when these books are looking at the numbers and they keep saying like, wow, this guy won 13,000, won 16,000 last week. NFL kind of mass it a little bit to where they're winning from all their other recreational players, that it kind of hides our sharpness a little bit then, so it works out a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, BD, what do you think? Like, no bullshit, probably 16-hour days. I mean, it really is never ending. It's no breaks, no holidays. Weekends are even busier than ever. I mean, I could count. I mean, I love football, and I've probably I've been to 3 NFL games and maybe 4 or 5 college football games. And that's a 25-year career. And I actually thoroughly enjoy it. But it's like, I could have a monster day and I'm out partying at, a game, and it's like I can't handle it still. I can't get over like what there's days where I'm like, shit, I wish we had that game we lost, but I
So it
can't get
took the
over
day
that
off.
mental state. Yeah. Yeah, I wish. I wish I did anything. I wish I burned money instead. Like literally.
And what can you guys like? So what are the largest bets? Like maybe we got some whales out there that are watching that are big betters. What is like the biggest bets you guys will take? And what are the smallest bets?
So for us, it's not so much taking, it's more like what we play per game. So we kind of have we have me, Dirk, and I'm just using college football example. Dirk's the other guy in the office that does college football with me and Gringo, but we'll usually talk in Sunday night or early Monday morning and kind of figure where our numbers are at, see how we see where we all align, and if we're off, we kind of talk about why and what we missed. Maybe it was an injury or whatever. Then we'll hand out these numbers to BD, me, Dirk, Gringo, and we'll start trading these numbers off these numbers. So we'll have like a tier. We usually give a tier to everybody in the office. We have another trader we call Lion, and yeah, so we'll have edges. So 10% being maybe the biggest edge, where we want to place, I don't know, 6 figures or something on that, compared to, maybe just like there's value there. Maybe we'll just do a couple dimes, or maybe whatever. Like it depends where our range is and what we're doing with it. Like I said, if some other bettors agree with us, then maybe that gives us a little more like comfortability. Look, if 2 guys call us, we like South Carolina, he likes South Carolina, another guy calls us like South Carolina, I'm fairly sure we're on the right side there.
Yep. And do you guys have specific people that you guys will like always bet with, or how do you guys know when you should take somebody or shouldn't take somebody?
PD, you want to take this? Your favorite customers?
I mean, I guess there are definitely certain people other than others that oh, if they like this side, it's gonna move at some point. So, I'm sitting at the screen all day. I know sometimes it'll be the most random times, like the games are on Saturday, it'll be a Tuesday night at like 9:30 and someone wants a game, and I'll be like just ready to get up from the screen or something, and we get an order for a game, and I'll be like, shit, we probably need to go on this game now, because if I leave and come back in the morning, the number is probably going to be gone that we also agree with. So you kind of got to like know your customers and know what certain people do to the market and stuff. Some people they just want to bet. So they might want to bet Clemson or whatever at any price, but normally that'll come later in the week. Normally the early week stuff, you can't get as much down, but if you know that the right people are coming in on it, then we should probably go on this too. Otherwise, we're going to lose our edge and we're not going to be able to bet it. So it's
And
more so just like knowing your clients, knowing your customers and stuff. And you also don't want to ruin their number if they're asking you for something. So it more so just be like, oh, I'll get you down, you help them move the game, but then you say, all right, we have to get a little bit on this too, because it's probably going to move.
And do you know exactly, like, say, like, I want to put 100,000 down on anything, Lions, right? And you're like, okay, do you know that 100,000 is you're gonna be able to get that all down without moving the market? Like, let's say games on Sunday, I come at you Tuesday and say I want to get this money down. Do you guys have the ability to get that down at that point in time, or do you have to take it and just kind of hope that you can slowly put it on without moving the numbers throughout the rest of the week?
That's actually really good. You're hired.
That's a really good question. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah, that's like dead
it's
on.
kind of half and half, but I would say like a way I would be able to tell is, say you want 100 grand on the Lions plus 3, and then I go and ask some people, hey, is anyone interested in the Bears minus 3, whoever they're playing? And if certain people say like, yeah, I want that, whatever, I can fill the 100 easily, and I know it's probably going in the other direction. But when you ask the certain people if they want it and they say, no, I'm good,
Yeah.
then you kind of get the spidey senses or whatever, and you're like, this
Yep.
is probably a good bet, and it's probably gonna close worse. But for an NFL, something like that, even early week, probably always able to get the liquidity like that, just because it's such a big market. But for college, it's such a big range of things. Like if someone wanted a Western Michigan spread or something, smaller conference early in the week, I don't know if we would be able to get 100 without it like not moving at all. So you kind of just you gotta like I don't even know,
Yeah.
dodge and weave
Yeah, it
and
just
figure
comes
out what you
with
can do.
like yeah, that comes with like experience. Plus, we also, I mean, our customers, it's like almost like what do you do for us kind of deal. Like they can ask for $1 million on the lines, don't mean shit, It's like
Oh,
here's 20, be happy, it is what it is, So, but if they go really out of their way to help us with NFL or college football or whatever, we do Canadian football as well, then we'll bend over a little bit more to help them, even if it's free, even if we don't have a side in it or we don't even want the info, we'll strive a little bit more there.
now, like, so say I wanted to put that same thing I was talking about, the Lions at 100 grand, and I come to you guys on a Tuesday, and am I giving you that 100 grand hoping that line doesn't move? Or once you say you take the bet, I don't care if you move the line because I was already in at -3 or +3 or whatever it was.
Yeah, so you still probably wouldn't want the line to move unless that's like you just say, hey, look, just get me 100 grand. I don't care if you hit the market or whatever, you move the numbers, just fill it any way you can. I just want to deal with you, and I just want to have one payment plan, or well, not plan, but like just one payment
Yep.
come Monday. So yeah, that's kind of like what some people do, just let us control the whole position. And then, we could do what we want with it. We may, like I said, we may fuck around the market a little bit and see if we can move it one way or another or something like that. But some customers, everybody has like a credit score with us. You're either 800 or we try not to deal with 500s, but you get the sense where it's like some guys have to give us the money up front if they want to get like crazy, like, in that sense, and then they'd have to send us Bitcoin because it's obviously the easiest.
Yep.
And a lot of our partners, I tell every week, look, I'm willing to pay 1% for the Bitcoin because it's just so valuable, or crypto or whatever it may be. Instead of we have real problems with like these eCash, the Venmos and the PayPals and all that type shit, so it's like, we really want to not use that the whole time, whatever, like, so.
Yeah, I got deplatformed. We just got our documentary, just got our account frozen on PayPal. So I know it sucks. And they don't release it, and they freeze your funds for 6 months, and then they hold them, and then you probably still don't get them.
It's crazy. And yeah.
You guys had issues getting debanked or anything like that with what you guys do?
We definitely had partners, and I definitely got in situations with PayPal where it seems like it's mainly PayPal, right? That is, yes. I don't even deal with Venmo. It just seems like too small of a basis, and I don't want to post like what the fuck I paid BD for or Ryan or whatever. It's just like that everybody's everybody just bought pizza like on that app. I feel like just thousands. Pizza's going to be the next crypto. The way it's spoken on Venmo, it's like a commodity.
Yeah, it's bar tabs and pizza for sure.
Yeah,
that's probably every Venmo I've ever sent.
That's funny.
Oh shit! So where do you guys see yourself over the next year? Are you guys scaling this business? Are you guys happy with what you got? Are you guys always looking for new? You just trying to grow, or is there ever a point where you can do this forever?
It's a good question, man. So it's a forever changing, atmosphere or market. I mean, every year, like we talk about with the guys, is that like how the market's going to react on Mondays, or like me and Gringo had a couple years where we were betting Mondays, the numbers weren't moving, we're able to fill, and then like the next year was totally gone, right? Like we couldn't do anything, we weren't getting filled, the market was just skyrocketing because there's a lot of guys that spy on accounts or tail the plays and move the market. But I mean, we're always down for scaling, man. Like like I want more and more partners. I want people to win. I don't want the bookies to win. So I'm always willing to give like a chance to anybody. Like Gringo said, like even if you have one account, but you never know. I mean, it could develop in a great partnership or whatever. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it's still around. I mean, I guess the legals was a big change in the way things are, but we kind of adapted, now we bet on the legals. We get decent pops there that we weren't getting, which is credit shots, but we probably lost like, partners in that sense and stuff like that because they came aboard. Another big issue is that we bet through bots. Like, I mean, we just have so many accounts that we can't log in and out of all these accounts. It would take forever just to do one thing. So, we have a bot that, we operate. I know it gets bad terms, like we have robots working for us, but we operate the bot and it goes out and it'll plaster all these accounts and it'll get the whole fill and not just like leak out one by one or whatever, like if we were hand clicking. So now these places are kind of combating against that, where they're having bot protection and Cloudflare and CAPTCHA. So just the cat and mouse. It's like,
it's never ending, ever ending for you guys.
And next year will be something else. Yeah, it's always, like you said, even with the payments, like PayPal is a pain in the ass, and Venmo's even worse, and so on and so on.
Now, do you guys ever see that this going completely like mainstream? Like, say Trump comes back and does what we hope he's going to do and just obliterates the deep state, destroys regulators, and kind of restores freedom in the free market. I mean, I feel like sports betting is as old as it's like probably just as old as hookers and drugs and every other vice that America's had. I mean, I feel like our government should keep their dirty hands out of it and let you guys just let the free market play its course.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Plus, he's a big promoter of crypto.
Yeah.
He was just saying that. He was talking that up, which is great.
And I want to
sounds like Gringo's Saturday night, what you just mentioned, actually.
Hold on, I want to hear about Gringo Saturday night, but I want to give you guys a big shout out. I want to make sure everybody sees you guys' Twitter. So Joey's Tunes is at Joey Tunes 2 over here on X. BD is at You Get No CLV over on X, and then Matt, it goes by at Gringo_Matt over on X. So guys, make sure you guys swing over there and follow these guys. Reach out to them. It looks like they got their DMs over here. So if you guys got accounts, you guys want to connect with them, their DMs are open over there. But you hear a little bit about this Saturday night, Gringo? You got a timer on or what?
I don't know. That might be an off camera subject.
We just went out and visited him.
I'll give you a show.
Where you guys out having a good time? Where were you guys at?
He comes out to Florida a lot. We were trying to we came out for the Texas Rangers game and we went out to Dallas. He's over in Dallas. So I'm in Dallas.
Oh, you're in Dallas.
Time.
I'll be there on Friday.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be in Austin on Friday.
Other free state.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you guys are in good locations. Blake, where are you at?
I'm in the beautiful liberal state of Connecticut.
Oh, yeah, man, I feel bad for you. I'm in Michigan, so it sucks here too. And how are you guys feeling down with what's going down there in Texas with the migration and the border crisis? Are you guys feeling that in Dallas, or haven't noticed it yet?
Not as much in Dallas, but yeah, I mean it's an issue in Texas. I mean, it's always been an issue down here, so just worse probably now than ever, unfortunately. So hopefully we can figure that out. People a lot smarter than me are dealing with it, hopefully. So
I remember, I remember when I bought property like in 2006 in like Wesley Chapel, West Side Florida. It was outside Tampa, and me and my partner had like real estate investments. We had our own company, and he kept pushing me towards, let's go look at Brownsville. Let's go look at Brownsville down in like deep South Texas. Now, I mean, fuck, man, it was, I don't even know what the, I mean, those houses had the, I mean, Elon's near there now, and all the immigration that came over. I mean, housing probably skyrocketed. I'm like afraid to look because I could throw up. But
Oh, it's beautiful down there. I'll go and report there. That's where I'm actually headed. We're headed down to we fly into San Antonio. We're going to InfoWars. We'll be on InfoWars on Friday. Then we're driving straight down to Eagle Pass, and then we're going to shoot from Eagle Pass to Comedo, and then all the way down to Brownsville. And so yeah, I'll send you some pictures when I'm down there. It's really nice down there. I felt like I came from up here in Michigan, and I got down there, thought it was going to be like a border town, like just a just dumps and run down, and I was like, wow, they're putting.
So why?
tons
Because of
money into that
Elon and stuff? Yeah.
yeah, man, the amount of money that these NGOs are bringing into these cities, right? Like they're getting $100 million no bid contracts every 90 days. So like the infrastructure, the resources that are going into the cities, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know why it's getting so built up in that specific area. Maybe because it's, close to the border of Mexico. It seems like, I mean, you go across the border in Mexico now, and it's like there's stores there that won't accept US dollars. Only pesos or Bitcoin. I was mind blown. I went to go try to buy my son like a little stuffed animal at this store, and no US dollars. We only accept Bitcoin or pesos. So it's weird to go into another country and them tell you like, hey, we don't want your dirty dollars. It should be a wake up call, I think, to the rest of the world that like
Seriously, yeah.
It's going to get bad here whenever the dollar finally collapses, which I'm sure we can't be far away from. But do you guys deal with a lot of cash now, or is it just mainly crypto and electronic?
Cash is like, I mean, like nothing now, man. Like 10, 15 years ago, that's all it used to be. But now it's like nothing. It's crazy how it evolved, like how it didn't evolve really, but how it's not even of use now, and then no one wants to spend Bitcoin either, so it's kind of like this tug of war game. Everybody knows the value. I mean, I even bought gold down here. There's a guy that's been in the gold business a long time, and I started kind of piling in it. Like Bitcoin was probably like 2030 at this point, and gold was like 1800. And yeah, he sells coins for basically a little bit over spot too. And the kangaroos, you don't have to go through the whole government process with everything in that. So
you got a pile of them right here.
You got them. That's great.
You want to trade me some Bitcoin for them? I'll hook you up, man.
I don't know about that. Yeah, no.
It's what I was waiting to buy this house, and I was old enough to go through the '08 collapse, but not old enough to have money to go through it, and I just remember back then thinking like, wow, like that next one, man, I'm going to be ready for it. And then just since that date, basically just been piling away cash. And then you don't realize it, but you're getting broker and broker and broker. Like you can never save more than they print. So it got to a point where I was just sitting on all this cash waiting for the next foreclosure I could find. And then finally I got afraid. I was like, I'm sitting on too much cash. I can't do this. I got to go and, get anything. Right. And I just happened to, cause I don't like buying Bitcoin for my bank account. I just despise, the government knowing where my crypto is going and coming. So it's like, I was like, screw it. I'll just put it into some coins. And then I ended up getting a house cheaper than I thought I was. So I didn't need to, do anything with it. But now I guess got a bunch of silver and gold that I'm just sitting here with like, fuck. I don't know if I'll ever.
Yeah, we advise like all our partners to, to have a treasure or ledger or something, because, like they still decide what they could do. I have a friend stuck 45,000 in Coinbase. They won't release it because he sent like 100,000 to somebody the week before. And, he's back and forth telling just whatever. They give no answers. It's so frustrating. You're talking to some guy in India about it. They just, don't give a shit at all. But so what exchanges are you dealing with now, or none? You're only cold storage, or
that thing that everybody did is they went and got those Palua. I would never do anything like that, right? But people out there go get these Palua IDs, so you can buy for $250. You can get you become a resident of this island out in the middle of some I don't even fucking know where it's at. Palua. It's Palua Island out in the middle of nowhere. but it's legal. Like I interviewed this guy that does taxes in America, and he was talking about trading Bitcoin. He's like, oh yeah, I wanted to see how you get registered on all these other exchanges, but you can go and actually KYC on exchanges outside of the USA as technically like a resident of this island in the middle of the metaverse. And it works. So yeah, everybody's using these other exchanges now. And that's what they're doing. Bybit's
But,
still
like,
the biggest one.
Yeah.
I would
And
just
you trust all these still?
I don't trust any exchanges. You know, I keep enough to
Right,
let
right.
my bots, like you guys, right? I use bots to trade everything. I can't out trade these guys. I don't have time. You know, like Blake might be different. If you can sit at a computer and you're there able to stare at the charts all day, you can easily trade crypto and make money. But like if you're me and you're busy and you're traveling from state to state filming documentaries and doing all this other shit, like I don't have time to stare at the charts. So I just turn my bots on, and your bots can't make a losing trade, right? So I don't know if you guys ever run like trading bots on Bitcoin, but you give it, say I give it 25,000. I said, okay, Bitcoin's at 70,000. I'm going to set up a grid down to 60,000, and I'm going to give it $25,000 to trade that range, right? So if price starts to come down from 70 and goes all the way to 60, it's going to DCA me into Bitcoin, right? It can't make a losing trade. So from the lowest point that it buys at, price has to come up a certain percentage for it to sell. And it has to come up enough for you to trade, sell that, and take your profit with the fees and still be in the green, right? So
Yeah,
worst
probably.
case, it's Bitcoin. I give it 25,000 and it just DCAs me down into Bitcoin. And all of a sudden now I got $25,000 with the Bitcoin. It hits 60,000 and the bot's going to shut off. It's just going to pause itself and say, hey, I can't make a trade because I'm either out of money. So you either have to give me more money or price has to come back above 60,000. So then when it broke below 60,000, I just gave it another 25 grand and now it'll trade from 60 down to 50, right? And then if it gets to 50, well, I got to give it another 25 grand. But either way, I would have taken that 25 grand and bought Bitcoin. Now, the second that it goes up, it's just, and it just sells, buy, sells all the time. Then now the next time it comes down, I don't have to give it any because now I have a range that's $30,000, right? And my bot can trade, a 50% range or 30% range, and it has, $75,000 now. So every time it's buying and selling right now, my bot's running like $800 a trade, but it trades every 0.14%. So, if Bitcoin goes up 1%, my bot's made, I don't know, 7 trades at like $700 a piece, scalping, $3, $4, $5 per trade. But if it trades 100 times a day, that's $500, So,
Yep.
and it can't
So,
lose.
yeah, I mean, we do a little of that with the sports too, like the brokering kind of, like just scalping or earning on a couple things. But so what is inflation at right now?
Legal,
I don't know, real
like their
numbers.
inflation,
Yeah, like
3.5, I think, 3.5%.
yeah,
And that's
just
down
because.
from 9, which means that it's technically still up 12. The actual inflation rate since Biden, like if you count overall inflation since Biden took office, I think they're saying it's like 19.8% or 20.1%. But if you're a 9 to 5 worker and you're barely keeping your head above water, you're on the verge of
I don't know
bankruptcy.
how.
77% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck that make less than $200,000 a year. 1 in 6 Americans or something like that bought a car in 2020 during COVID have lost their car or are 90 days or more delinquent on their car payments. Bankruptcies are happening at a rate that is accelerating faster than the '08 financial crisis. And the U.S. dollar as a global reserve asset, when Trump left office, made up for 80% of global trade around the world, and now, or at least trade for energy, and now that's down to less than 20%, something crazy like that. So, yeah, it's bad. If you guys haven't seen the documentary, The Great Taking, so you guys remember The Big Short, the Michael Burry movie in '08. This guy, so that we didn't really hear about that until after it happened. Like the collapse happened, they made the movie on it, and everybody knows the story. But there wasn't a movie before it happened, right? Well, this guy who's really, really high up in Wall Street, and he used to trade for like JP Morgan Chase and all these big hedge funds, and this guy's just like super elite. He used to be like the dude that all the elite people use to make all their moves and trades and, write lobbies or write legislation and all this shit. So he basically put out this documentary which explains the next crash and how it's going to happen and how you're going to own nothing when it's over because of all the regulations that change place. It's designed so when things start to collapse, they all basically collapse into about 4 banks, and there's going to be 4 banks left standing that are going to own everything. There'll be no small banks, no local banks, no credit unions, and they call it a bank bail-in. So A bailout is where our government bails out the banks. A bail-in is where the banks collapse. They lose everything. They're bought up by bigger banks. And then you, the person who put your money in the bank, you lose everything because you're technically not the creditor. The creditors get whatever was, left over as scraps, and they'll own everything. But it's a really good documentary. It's on Rumble. It just came out like 3 months ago. If you want to know what's coming in the next probably 6 months, you should watch that documentary. It's really good.
Yeah, I wrote it down. So you think these banks are hoarding Bitcoin too? I mean, I know BlackRock is doing wonders. Like, I mean, they're all in. They bought so much up the last couple, last year or so.
What's funny about that is Luke, he's one of the co-founders at bitcoinnews.com, put out a video. I think it was on Thursday. I was watching it. There's people that are tracking, like these sleuths are getting really good at tracking like Bitcoin going to and from exchanges and who the exchange wallets. And there's a lot of rumors out there saying that BlackRock doesn't own it, that BlackRock and Coinbase are colluding together to basically naked short Bitcoin, and that BlackRock doesn't own that. Right before the ETF was approved, I think it was a week before, a couple of days before, they passed a law that stated that the ETF owners didn't actually have to own Bitcoin. As long as they have the dollar equivalent in their account, they can take and sell you Bitcoin and not actually buy it, which is really interesting considering we've seen what Sam Bankman-Fried was able to do. I mean, that dude was selling like, I don't know if it was like 50 or 100,000 Bitcoin that he didn't have, right? Like he was taking your, you guys were depositing all your Bitcoin into FTX, and he was taking it and selling it off into the open market and giving orders to his posse to, if Bitcoin's above 20,000, we want you to sell it. And like they were trying to drive price down and collapse the price of Bitcoin, but because everything's on chain, we caught them. So I don't know. I think it's going to come to find out that BlackRock doesn't own that Bitcoin, or they're going to be forced to buy it in the open market at a much higher price. I don't know. Larry Fink's just fucking evil, man. Like I just can't think that guy's up to do anything good with Bitcoin. But
I know that'll hurt the price though. If they find out they're not invested in it, that won't be good news. Well, more FUD, but
no, but it might be interesting watching people go to cash out, right? If they find they don't have it and people start draining their, I don't know. I don't know anybody. Like, I mean, I know a couple people, but like a majority of people I know, they're going into Bitwise, they're going into these other ETFs because they have their wallet is public. They've made their wallet address public, and you can see they say they own 37,000 Bitcoin. You can go look and verify that it's in the wallet. So it's like seems like I don't know. What do you guys think about BlackRock? You think they're here to help us or here to fuck us?
Probably fuck. Yeah. But I like the Bitwise. That's good, because that was the whole problem with FTX, is that it wasn't really there. So if they had the holdings, you could see it on chain, which is great. I mean,
why
like we spoke
they?
about even off camera. I know. I don't know. I would want to prove it. No, like dude, your holdings are safe. I mean, it's great.
I just can't believe like the whole industry watched what happened with FTX, and we were like, okay, this happened because they weren't showing proof of reserves. So then Binance and CZ was actually like, hey, let's all do this. Let's show proof of reserves. Then this can't happen again. And then they like waged war on CZ. And that was the real thing. Like Sam Bankman-Fried's the one, and Brian Armstrong from Coinbase were the ones meeting with Gary Gensler. They were rubbing shoulders, blowing kisses to Maxine Waters. Like he was greasing the palms of every politician. CZ wasn't doing any of that. Right. And then XTF collapses. And then all of a sudden, CZ's the bad guy. It's all the CCP. Like he's this terrorist. He's doing, money laundering for Iran and all this shit. And you're just like, dude, I don't believe a fucking second of this shit, dude. Like, I don't believe any of it. And I don't know. It's just weird how corrupt our government is. And, I think Bitcoin's our only hope, man. I really fucking think it's humanity's last hope. If we don't take away their ability to control that money printer, we're going to get crushed. I mean, I know you guys probably do fairly well because of the business you're in, but I think most of America is getting rocked right now. You guys notice it?
I don't envy.
Do you guys notice that in sports betting when like the economy's down, or is it the opposite? Is it like people get more degenerate when times get tougher?
I don't know about these guys. I think everybody feels it. I mean, during COVID, and I don't know. I feel like the bets were bigger years ago. No,
what do you think, Matt?
Everything's more expensive, so you just got to earn that much more to just keep up the same lifestyle. So it's just like a pain in the ass. I mean, so everybody feels it. Like, Yeah, I don't know. So I think that some bookies probably are tighter than they have been previously, because again, if they're not managing their cash properly, everything costs so much more. They might get themselves in a pinch. So
What's
which
the
would in turn cost us because they might not be able to pay us.
what is the if you guys don't mind me each personally, what's the biggest L that you guys have taken in a game? And how did it come about? Have you made any mistakes where you like didn't go to put a bet in, or you thought you had a bet in and you didn't have it in, or you thought the spread was different? And
Yeah, I think everybody's got one of those.
Yeah, BD,
let's hear. You
BD
don't have
does
to tell me
it
your
every
worst one,
time.
but tell me a couple horror stories.
He actually labels it. I think it was labeled. Was that yesterday or today? You said BD fucked up or something. Was that today on the notes? I fucked up.
That was just
Toronto.
trading a position.
No, I
But
see it. We got stuck.
in
a little
terms
bit
of
on
my
that
actual stuff, I don't know. I've definitely made some bad decisions. I would lose a lot. I don't know the exact dollar amount, but it'd probably be like, say, like 15 to 20x what I would put on a normal game. Put it
Holy
at that.
cow.
In terms of me fucking up, and it could have been like a variation of things. It wasn't just like the bet loss, but in terms of me like messing up position, not doing what I wanted, whatever, and then it all just spirals kind
Mm-hmm.
of.
What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I did a
Or Joey?
story.
Yeah, I don't.
Go
I
ahead,
mean,
Matt, go ahead.
yeah, I've had a big loss. I guess I try to forget about those. I still, the one that pisses me off is when
Your biggest loss was your old partner. That's the true biggest L.
Yeah, that was bad. But anyway, no,
We
the
won't
one
talk
that
about
pisses
that
me
one.
off the most is when I put in the bet wrong and don't catch it. Like, I mean, you make thousands of bets a year, you're bound to input one wrong or a couple, and then you go back and check, and anytime you put it in wrong, it's 100% a loser always. You never win when you put it in wrong, and so it just irks you because it's you go from a win to a loss, and it's it's annoying.
Or you forget about a position and you're trying to live bet off the game, which
those are the
live
worst.
bet now is really popular. So you can, it's called in-game play. So you can bet every timeout, every commercial, every play now. They're down to every play now since FanDuel and these algorithms came in. They really are such good algorithms. I don't know how they have the odds for it. I mean, they probably cross sports, basketball, like LeBron's points with whatever, Mahomes' yards, just like I just don't even know where. And even
We
the
got
live
AI
stuff
now.
now is just,
Yeah,
it's
AI, these
crazy.
quantum computers that can
spend
process
a lot of money.
a million computations per second. So, if they already have all that data there and they just, they know what players are on the field, they know everything about that game, to give me the odds. So I can bet on one pass. Like I can bet that this first down is going to happen. I can bet $1,000 on that first down.
I don't know if they'll have limits that high, but yeah, you can bet on crazy stuff now. Yeah.
What's the biggest parlay?
It depends if you're a loser, so you're segregated as well. So that's a big problem with this industry is that if you're an asshole bettor, you're allowed to do what you want. But if you're someone who knows what you're doing, then they limit you. So that's their whole model as well. So they never it's scary. That's another thing about our field. Like when you asked, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I mean, what they have, Flutter owns FanDuel. They're a monster company. Like they would outdata us, outquant us. They could do anything they want, but they're not betting. They don't have the liquidity. They're only taking the bets. And rather than to go spend that money on the talent, it's just easier to throw us out. Like all of our accounts are like BD. I don't know. What's your FanDuel now? $30. This is max bet. You know what I mean? You think FanDuel could afford to lose a couple bucks a week, to us. But really, now that I think about it, it's like, why do they need to lose any? Just throw us out and take on the players that you don't need 40 quants from China, and you could just, just make it really simple, have all the dickheads betting and take all their money without even really having to do much. And that's the problem with the industry too, is that they don't pay anything, essentially anything out of college doesn't pay anything, but the sports field is really bad. I mean, you got managers managing millions and millions of dollars a day, and they're getting paid like 70,000 a year. I mean, it's wild. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
So when I was in college down in Florida, I was able to go to. I had a guy come into the bar, and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "Yeah, you ever bet on sports?" And I'm like, "Nah, not really. I mean, I have before. Yeah, I had a bookie back home." And he goes, "You want to play some bets?" I go, "How?" And he goes, "Well, I got this site I built, and you can bet with me." And he goes, "I'll tell you what, I'll give you your first." I was bartending at the time. He's like, "I'll give you your first $100 credit or whatever." He's like, "Free on me," or 300. It might have been $300. So I was sitting at the bar one night, and I just randomly was looking at odds and was like, "Hey, bro, what do you think about the Wings game?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, Wings are gonna win." I was like, "All right, pick Wings." And I picked a 17 parlay, and I hit it with like a $5 bet, and it paid me like $800. And I was like, "Dude, bro, I'm fucking quitting my job next week, dude. Like this shit's so fucking
Yeah,
easy.
you
Like
got it.
just parlay this, right?" And I burnt through that plus fucking $500 more within probably a week, But like, are you guys like? Do you guys have a website where people can bet, or do you guys actually taking calls or text messages? How does that work for you guys?
No, like the website is more like that. They're the guys we want. So like that's a perfect example. Like we want you to go to this guy, and now that you lost and you realize, look, you're too busy. You're not a professional sports bettor. You got your own thing. This is our thing. So now you would give us that account, and we would operate the account for you, and we would win, and you would just be the face of this guy. So every week you go see him, he pays you, and then maybe he's like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing? You're beating me every week." Like, and then you kind of pitch him like, "Look, I kind of know what I'm doing. Do you have any access to any other bookies?" And maybe that's just a pitch.
Yeah,
You
I
just
see what you're
become
saying.
a salesman at this point. So like, he's the actual bookie. He has a website where it's ran out of an island, Costa Rica, more likely than not, and they just pay these, the Ticos a couple bucks to host everybody. You can put your players on the site. It does all the accounting for you, and they're used to just seeing at the end of the week they won, and we kind of come in and hopefully they lose. They have to pay attention to us, but
Yep.
yeah. So they're the guys we want to beat the hell out of, basically.
Man, it's such an interesting world, man, what you guys do. And it's really impressive. I know we're going on that a little over that hour mark. I want to be respectful of your guys' time. So why don't I'll go around the table each time. Blake, tell us something that we don't know about you. If people want to get a hold of you, what is the best way to reach out to you guys? I know I posted your Twitter over here on the screen, but tell us a little something and we'll wrap it up.
I would definitely say if you need to reach out to me, you could just reach out to my Twitter. I'm a little busy, but I'm not too busy, so I'll see your message. I'll be able to reach out to you, and I don't
And
know. It's something
you guys
that
got a Telegram?
people.
Is there anywhere like you guys got a community of people that are in a Telegram anywhere that we can send people to as well?
So we do have a Telegram. I mean, all of us have our own personal Telegrams. Joey has, like a kind of like a
Feed me.
partner's Telegram or whatever, but it's something that anyone can join, and they definitely should, where it's all like sports information and stuff that you'd want to hear, also releasing plays on there as well. So even if you're just someone that has one like FanDuel or DraftKings account, if you're in there, you'll still be able to see it and follow the plays. So I definitely recommend that. You can find that through his Twitter.
Perfect.
And I guess if I would give one piece of advice or some little information to anyone, it would be careful about buying NFTs, because that say like 2020, 2021, that was like kind of one of my
He's
big
holding the bag.
introductions to crypto and all the stuff like that. Was really into NFTs. I got rugged on like all of them, lost all my money. I'm sure some of them are good, but I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. So that would be my advice. Steer clear of the NFTs.
How much were you
Bro.
up? How much were you up at the peak of NFT season? Were you killing it at one point?
I mean, so I didn't buy like that much of them, but it was probably something where, I was probably up like 10 to 15,000 off of, buying them for like 200, $300.
Yep.
And I lost all of it. So yeah, I would steer clear of the digital art.
Man, I had a couple of those ships in Star Atlas that at one point were like $20,000, and I now I think they're like 20 cents or something like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I bet if I looked at my MetaMask and my old wallet or whatever, I would find all these pieces of art that are now like $0. So
Yeah, and at the time they were
And the
supposed to be like
baseball cards, right?
man. You guys had you
Right.
guys
my baseball cards, they'll be fine eventually. It's a long-term game.
yeah. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, you can just find me on Twitter, gringo_Matt. Get a hold of me, whatever. Yeah, and then I don't have any NFT stories like BD has, I guess.
What are your thoughts
Yeah.
on crypto? What do you think? Are you stacking Bitcoin? Are you big into the crypto space or
Yeah. So I got a Bitcoin, of course. I'm a believer in Solana a little bit. I got some of that. It's not a long-term hold. It's a dump. Hopefully next year move. Bitcoin's the one I'll keep forever. And then I got a little portfolio allocation to some of these meme coins. I'm having fun with it. I hate gambling. That's a fun fact. But this is my one little lottery ticket I'll play is some of these meme coins.
Hey man, I don't blame you with the gains that we've seen some of these people doing 1,000, 2,000, 20,000 X, man. You know, I call them bar tab crypto. You know, if you're going to go out drinking this week and you spend $300 at the bar and you don't go out, well, now you got $300 that you would have burnt anyway. So fucking, if you like gambling, man, do it up.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's good method right there.
Can't get laid off NFTs though, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. 300 may be better at the bar though.
Might in the future.
Yeah, you might be in the future.
You might be able to play a
I
lot
bet you
if
could have
did
got
it.
laid for a Bored Apes at one point. You know, those things were going for like $1 million.
I bet a lot of them did.
I think BD's
CryptoPunk
picture
too.
was the ape at one point, right? Weren't you all aped up? One
Did
of
you
our
have
We
a
chats,
don't have
too.
to talk about that. We don't have to talk about that.
It's a low point in his life.
We've all been there, my friend. What about you, Joey?
My Instagram is Feed Me Bet. You could go there. I'm more so on Twitter, which is Joey Tunes 2, and then my website is feedme.bet. Creating some more social media. It's just getting there. I don't know. A lot of it's video, and yeah, I sell some stuff too now that you're scrolling. So
I see that. Yeah,
my
we
buddy
went here.
who does we just teamed up with one of our guys that does the it's a lower league football. It's college football. It's FCS, so it's like, I don't know, not a division. It's like a division down from the real schools. Like, so he does a lot of stuff for us with that. So I told him we'll promote his product, and
That's sweet.
you know, whatever, the Feed Me proceeds go to charity and stuff. And I sell some of my gear just for, I usually give it away. I have so much of it. I was giving it away at Pet Bash and shit. So,
Let's
but
throw
yeah,
that out there.
I mean, whatever. Like I said, I send to charity, not really about the money. I don't really ask for anything. Just accounts. I just hoard myself out for accounts.
Man, that's fucking sweet, dude.
Yeah, I'm
I'm gonna have to
rocking
get
them
myself
now.
one of them. Yeah, I
it's
saw that
tough.
you were
It's
rocking
good.
that.
It's good. I'll send you one.
Well, maybe
I
I'll be
posted
in.
the Telegram, like BD said. Okay.
Go ahead.
The Telegram is really good. It's more inside info, like from what I'm doing there, like on Twitter. So I'll send out a lot of plays on there. I'll give some good insight on how the markets are evolving or what's going on in the news today, and you know, that type of thing. So I mean, definitely come check it out. Come join it. Yeah.
There you guys go. There you go. Hashtag feed me, and that's right in your Twitter bio too. So if anybody wants it, they can just go right there to your Twitter bio and grab it, man. Well, gentlemen, it was an honor to have you guys on the show. Anytime you guys want to come back and talk Bitcoin or talk sports or talk crypto, you guys are always welcome on my show anytime. So I appreciate you guys.
Yep, thanks for having us.
Yeah, appreciate you too. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
God bless you guys. Have a great day, guys. Do us a huge favor. Smash that like button on your way out of the show. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll guys catch you in the same place, same time next week. God bless.
Run.